All right, back for a another episode. We did decide on a name coming into this week, so we decided with Brothers on the Green. We were told by our family that we never mentioned we were brothers last episode, so I guess we'll start off with that fact. But yeah, we're gonna go by Brothers on the Green moving forward, and yeah, just excited to continue to talk about the weekly tournaments that are happening, going to keep coming up, and just continue to try to give out picks, talk about the landscape, and sort of see again just where it goes. But we did decide on that name for moving forward, and then obviously just coming off a solid weekend at the Cognizant with Joe Highsmith, sort of coming out of nowhere there in terms of like just from behind, like we said, made the cut on the numbers. So sort of out of nowhere, I've heard about him a couple times. I've seen him play, but I wasn't really the most tuned in with his game, but obviously came out of nowhere and had a really solid weekend, 64-64. But I mean, Bobby, what did you think about the weekend? And obviously, didn't really turn out good for our picks, but again, just a solid tournament overall, I would say.
Yeah. So, welcome back to episode 2, Brothers on the Green. It's exciting to get to talk some golf. We do this enough anyway, might as well be on camera. But it was kind of what we expected in terms of the golf course, right? It has definitely changed. The guys talked about it all week in terms of, it's much easier to chip. Obviously, no wind, that definitely plays a major factor.
Yeah.
But the weekend, I thought it played tough enough. It firmed up a little bit, but 64-64 from Highsmith is no joke.
Just draining every putt, like all week.
Draining every putt, and he did not miss a shot on the back nine. So
No.
that's fun to watch, right? It's good golf.
Yeah, it wasn't like, all those other guys, it seemed like they were sort of letting it come to them, and he just went and one of those things where he went and got it. He just, got through the bear trap, no problem, birdied 17. Then, I mean, at that point, he sort of was able to coast, not be aggressive on 18, just because he sort of had that margin that no one was going to catch at that point.
Yeah, and as a lefty on the bear trap, it's definitely much easier because you
Yeah.
got to hit a snap hook to hit in the water, right?
Yeah.
You're in at the left edge of every green, playing a baby draw. You got to snap hook it to hit in the water. So your bailout is safety, right?
Yeah.
And righties, their bailout is water. So that's definitely something that helps. But again, it was impressive golf. Our boy Cam Young is in a bad spot. I mean, he made that golf course look like it was the prime PJ National, and
I mean,
I
he's
don't
just
have
such a
much
mental
hope.
case. It's just like we saw it in TGL. Anytime he has a non-full shot, he's either 10 yards long, 10 yards short. It's just, he, uh, he literally
I
can't
don't
chip
think he
the golf
tries to hit a
ball.
full iron right now. It's weird. He tries to hit these low piercing irons, like he's hitting 3 iron to a 230 shot to a back pin.
Yeah, when Horschel hit a 4 iron on the same
He
hole.
hit 5 iron on that to try. You landed 215. You let it run a little, but that's here nor there. That happens to be our guy, and it's not looking great. But I'm sure John will have him in his picks this week. So
Triple.
let's get into Bay Hill. I want to talk about these sponsored invites quick. Ricky and Spieth, they were making a point out of them for some reason. Uh, what's his Palmer's grandson? Sam Saunders, I think is his
Yeah, and then
name.
Campos.
Yeah, and so he was like, we're doing this strictly based off merit. Ricky and Spieth have not been playing well. We want guys that are going to be at the top of the leaderboard. Well, you took my boy Rafael Campos out of the Puerto Rico Open, so that that man loves island golf, and he's probably going to finish T63 at the Arnold Palmer, and he would have probably won the Puerto Rico Open. So you're going to cost him money, but
Yep.
that's all right. Mackenzie Hughes. I don't know the last time he's really played
And then
great.
it's just he said I forget who it was, but they said Campos had just like the best letter that they ever like.
Oh, true. I respect that. I
Yeah, I
respect that. I
respect it, but
like
they
that.
said they want to do it based off play and merit and all that.
True.
And then
True.
you say that, it's sort of just contradicting yourself. But I mean, it's sort of whatever. So I think Spieth and Fowler are sort of actually playing well now and probably deserve it, like you're
Exactly.
saying at this point. But it's I guess it's whatever. They got enough studs in the field, and I assume moving forward, most of these elevated are still gonna give them those sponsored advice because they want eyeballs on their event.
Yeah, no, they were in the tournament at Torrey. What was that?
The Genesis.
The Genesis.
Yeah. They were in, I think they were in all of them so far. I mean,
Yeah,
Spieth was in. What was the other elevated before that?
Pebble.
Yeah, Pebble. Spieth was there for. I mean, AT&T
They
obviously.
both were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spieth was always going to be there, but I mean, they'll continue to get invites. Just obviously, I mean, just one time. But Spieth sort of had a weird answer. Ricky just took it on the chin, but I mean, they'll be fine moving forward. They're both well off.
Yeah, no, just an interesting talking point there.
Yeah,
So what, we want to talk a little bit about the course and then
yeah.
get
If you
into
want,
our picks.
yeah,
Honda, we
sure.
did 30 minutes, I mean that's a course we know very well. That's a tournament we know very well.
Yeah,
Moving forward may not be 30 minutes, but it's what the people
some good
want.
insight.
It's what the people want. So,
Yeah.
once we get some feedback, we'll listen to that. But let's
Hmm.
talk about the course. So this is a golf course similar to PGA, historically is very tough, but they have not made it any easier. These guys still struggle out here.
Yep.
You miss a fairway, you're fighting for par,
Yep.
right? You hit a fairway, it's usually 20 feet's a good shot, right? There's not a lot of pins that you can really get at. The par fives are those holes, right? The par fives are all
They're all gettable.
they're the four easiest holes on the course
Yep.
every year. They all play pretty well under par. But that's where you got to take advantage. It's a golf course, right? That's really made for the top players. So that's why you've seen Scotty last couple years.
Yeah, it's
Rory's
Rory's up
always
there
played
all the
well here.
time. Yeah.
That it's really it's a major championship type golf course, and it's firm and fast already, which is nice. You told me they're getting some rain tomorrow potentially.
Yeah, but it's also supposed to be. I mean, it looked like Thursday and Sunday should be pretty windy. Just like it seemed like the
Yeah.
gusts people were saying up to like 20 plus. I'm not sure if it's still there, but
So
it.
by Friday, it's going to be firm. If it's windy Thursday
Yeah,
again, it'll firm out quick. So
exactly.
it's going to be tough, right? Last week we predicted 20 under par as a winner.
Yeah.
I'd say this week's more around the 7-8 mark
Yeah.
as a winner. It's just a good golf course where you got to hit good shots. They made a few changes, right? 17, no bailout to the right anymore on those bunkers, which was a very popular spot. And it's
Supposedly
just
these bunkers are pretty easy. It seems like in terms of just like the I guess how good the sand is. Like you're just getting up and down in there. Seems like it's better spot than the rough in terms of like where they would like to miss around the greens.
it is, but a lot of these Florida courses have very soft sand, so it's a lot of plug lies around here, right? They had one year where every single shot was literally plugging out, even on 17 at 220 shot, these guys were plugging 4 irons into the top lip.
It happened a lot last week.
Yeah, it's very common down there. But it's a great golf event. So let's talk some picks. Let's talk through some guys, right? Not
Yeah.
we'll put out our official picks after, like you were saying.
Yep.
But we're gonna talk through a lot of guys and how we feel about them this week.
Yeah. So just a couple things first, just about the past winners, real quick. So like you said, Scotty last year, and then I mean, really the one sort of one-off year was Kitayama, just being a no-name coming into the event, and then
Yeah.
maybe not a no-name. He was a solid player, just obviously hasn't won on that stage. So that was
Yeah.
the
Surprise. He was a
exactly
surprise.
surprise there. And then 2022 was Scotty again at 5 under, so somewhat around like what you're predicting this week to be the scores at. 2021 Bryson, when I mean he hit the ball like all the like 80
He
yards.
had 50 yards into that
Yeah,
par five.
exactly, just stupid. So he was 11 under that week, a little bit lower, and then yeah, so 2021 Bryson. But overall, it seems like the scores are usually, like you said, a bit lower, probably in that -7 through 10 range. I would assume, like you were saying this week. But yeah, like you said, let's get into some of those picks, get into some of like these like trends as to what we're, I guess, looking at in a sense this week as to like what's the most important for the course. So I'll go ahead. Let me go ahead share my screen again. Get this stuff pulled up properly this time around.
And do you want to talk briefly on your last two outright picks that were heartbreakers?
Yeah, I guess so. We can get into that for a sec. So I mean, yeah, I think overall, like in a good spot, sort of like I was texting you about, just a matter of 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we had PgaTourProDice at the Mexico Open. I feel like that was a bit more heartbreaking than a Nap, simply because he had the playoff coming about. Nap was done by hole like 12 after his stupid triple, but still a heartbreaker because he shot 59. But I feel like the picks overall are in a solid spot. Just a matter of some guy actually performing on a Sunday. It seems like that changes the mindset for a lot of these guys once you get to that back nine on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, so right, I just have pulled up the odds board here, Bobby. So I mean, we could sort of go through the lower portion of it, give some of our thoughts about these guys. Obviously, I know starting off with Scotty around plus 320. I simply can never. I love Scotty. He's probably going to win again, just in terms of getting back on track, getting his first win in a little while here, just after his injury. Probably going to win, but just plus 320, just way too low to really put any action on. Just nothing really there. But again, he'll probably come out with a win somehow. So
Yeah,
Scotty,
unless you're Dave Portnoy who bets 100 grand an event.
yeah, exactly. Unless you're really set like Dave and you're able to throw that amount, there's no real intrigue there in getting on Scotty at that number. But sort of any interest here on your end with like these sort of top end guys from Scotty down to Fleetwood around that 3,300 range.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple guys. I like Aberg. I mean, he does remind me of Scotty in the sense played in the Ryder Cup, got his confidence up, right? He got a couple wins, and then he gets the big win, right? A couple weeks ago, and I think he's really off to the races.
I agree.
He's literally a machine. There's not one real hole in his game.
Uh,
Sometimes his 5 to 15 footers isn't great, but if you give yourself 8 birdie looks around from that
yeah,
range,
exactly. And I feel like
it's
he also has
chipping
the
forward.
mindset to win like sort of multiple times big events in a short span. I don't think it's like overwhelming for him to,
Yeah, no, I agree.
eat that quickly. The one thing I sort of Scotty level, like you said, just the ball striking, but I still feel like you said, like the 5 to 15 foot range still a struggle. And then I mean, his short game's pretty good overall, right? I sort of just
Yeah, no, I think he's a solid chipper, right? He's not as good as Scotty in terms of leaving himself in the right spot when he
yeah,
misses, right? He'll short side himself a little bit more.
yep,
Scotty, you really never see him short sided. I mean,
yeah,
if he's chipping, he's got the whole green to work with, or he's got a shot that he feels comfortable with. And it's not they're games, right? They're not on the same level. It's just I can see him rattling off wins after he got that first big one.
I
Uh,
agree.
and then the other guy I do like on here, I know you were liking JT this week. I kind of am intrigued with Cantley. I don't know if I'll take him, but he's someone that his game is starting to round into form. He's a guy that drives the ball great when he's swinging it well,
Mm-hmm.
but his putting is not what it used to be. At least, again, I don't have the stats to back
Just
that up.
streaky. You're just very streaky. Like
Yeah, I
you
don't
get hot, but it's just like he hasn't won in what 3+ years at this point.
really.
Like
Wow.
I think it's since that when he won the
Yeah. Well, like the St. Jude's? Or no, the
BMW when he beat
Vegas.
Bryson that year. But I think he won some.
Oh,
He won because he won the tour championship that year. I believe right. He went on to win the tour championship. I believe. Let me see.
no,
Patrick.
I think you're right.
So
Let me
Cam's last win. Yeah, the 2022 BMW.
wow. And that's when his putting was like
Oh, he
you
gained like
knew he was making that 30 footer on the
I was
left.
on him that week. He gained like 10 strokes putting and went in that was so crazy.
So, those two guys intrigue me. Cantley not as much anymore considering he hasn't won in 3 years. But
So he's been
it's
striking it
golf.
better. He's been striking
Yeah.
it better though, and I mean, eventually he's gonna break through and get another win. It's not like his game's fallen off a cliff. It's just more so hasn't broke through. But I think at some point, at least this year, maybe this week, like we're saying, he's going to break through and probably get back in a little bit of groove in some W's.
Who do
And
you
like I
like
said,
here?
I like JT a little bit this week. I just think with like this type of course, with how important the approach play is, and I mean he's been so solid with his, I mean iron play all year at this point. I know again he hasn't closed it out in a little while like Cantley as well, but he really is striking the ball so much better. He's motivated to win. It seems like he really, he's talking before the year like he thinks he could have a Scotty year. It doesn't seem like he'll do that, but I think he's definitely going to rattle off one or a couple victories this year, and I definitely think that with like this course fit and the style of play you have to have coming into the greens and his precision right now, I think that he's definitely at a good spot to hope maybe rattle off a win.
Yeah, no, he's playing solid golf. It's
Yeah,
just all about the putter, really.
exactly. And he's been putting better. He's had some weeks where he gets a little hot, but like, yeah, it's just a matter of like, just it being one of those weeks and him actually stretching 72 holes together rather than 54 that he's done a bunch.
Yeah, I agreed. Agreed.
And then just to move down a little bit here. So, I mean, and then also, I mean, I sort of like Fleetwood, but again, he hasn't won ever on the PGA Tour and just 3,300. Again, his game's in a good spot. He played well at Torrey a couple weeks ago, but I just think the number is just
Yeah.
not what I want field
Fleetwood
right
top 10 plus 320.
now. Yeah, that's
You
solid.
know, that's
That's pretty
something that
solid.
intrigues me.
Yep, I agree. And then here
Same
moving.
odds as Scotty to win.
And then this range, I mean, I like personally on mine. I think Keegan, has been playing some pretty solid golf and can be a good course fit. I just don't like, obviously, I know he's focused on the game, but I just think he has so much going on with the Ryder Cup, being a captain there, just thinking about that constantly. I just don't know if he's like ultimately focused enough to like really have his game sharp enough to win one of these types of events. But I do think 5,500 is a pretty solid number in a smaller field like this.
I really do like his game for this golf course. You know, with some wind, that favors him, right? He knows how to flight the ball. He knows how to feel those shots out. Like you said, I don't know if it's, if he has the ability to really win and keep up with the top guys.
Yeah.
He's solid, right? Him top 10, I'm looking at plus 400. Oh, no, sorry. Victor Hovland plus 400 I was looking at. We'll get to him. Keegan plus 360. Those are solid bets.
Yeah,
So one guy, Victor Hovland, does love this golf course.
I know. I just
Right?
don't know what's up with him. Like ever, if
Yeah, he's at least playing like one, two good rounds an event, right? Shooting five, six under, showing a little ability.
yeah,
He's spoken openly about how his game is in a bad spot, and he's a major tinkerer, right? He plays
uh,
around a lot with the swing. He's been off Joe Mayo, back on Jay Mayo, off Jay
he's
Mayo.
off now, right?
Yeah, they're not working together, I don't think right now.
No,
He was working with a different coach and really just the drills he was doing, it's concerning the day before an event. Uh,
it's I know. Again, but his numbers just if once they see that his game is back at a certain point, his number is going to drop,
yeah.
considerably back down, probably to sub like
Like I
sub.
love McIntyre, I love McNeely, but I don't know how Hovland is significantly better in terms of right. He just clicks it into form. His odds to win are
Exactly.
double those guys.
Exactly. I agree. I think it's a good number. I don't know if I'm going to take it this week, but again, it's just a number that once he actually clicks and finds his game again, that we'll never see
Yeah,
again.
we're paying attention to it.
Exactly.
Straka has struggled at this course historically.
Yep.
Berger, really, he looked like friggin' Iron Man the first 1.5 rounds of the Honda. He did not miss hit a golf shot.
It was
Not
stupid.
one single shot, and his putter was online every single hole.
Still got the
And then
goat.
they stopped showing him. I don't know what really happened on the weekend, but he was unbelievable the first 1.5, 2 rounds.
You saw he still has that tailor-made ghost.
Yeah, no, he just said last week it was the first time he's checked out new clubs slash got fitted in almost 10 years
That's crazy.
when he came back from his back injury. He had the BT irons, the tailor-made MBs, I think they are. I think he might still use them right now.
Yeah, he just probably had just with a little bit of a different swing had to get
All
refit.
right, I do like Tom Kim.
Yes, you said that.
I like Tom Kim this week. I feel like he's just playing great golf. He's somebody that he's consistent, right? I mean, he's a grinder.
Even if he has like a 70 like five first round, he always seems to come back with like a
Yeah,
low second to get back into contention.
exactly. And it's a course where if he's hitting his driver well, he'll hit those low draws. It'll run out there. He'll hit it pretty far.
Yeah.
It concerns me on the longer holes if he's got a mid to long iron in holding these greens properly, but he does hit a pretty spinny iron. He knows how to get the ball to stop.
Yeah.
And I do like him to break through, similar to Ludwig soon, right? I think he's very talented.
Yeah, I agree. They're obviously, different type of just with how I love just a physical specimen, it seems like, with like, just how his game is. But yeah, Tom's a stud too. He's had a couple, I mean, obviously it's been a little while, I guess, at this point, even though he's so young still. But yeah, I mean, it could be a good course fit if his driver's on. And I mean, if he's just such a competitor, it feels like he's always gonna. If once he's in the mix, he's not afraid of the moment. So if he gets there on a Saturday, Sunday, he's definitely a threat to actually go and get it, unlike some of the other guys.
Yeah, 100%. And then one, and we might have skipped him. I didn't see it. Shane Lowry.
Yeah, he's in the lower range. He was around like 40 or 5.
Yeah, 5,000. He went up a little. He's trending, right? He's playing solid golf. He's putting up good scores with not his best stuff. At Pebble he came second to Rory. It's a course that fits him well, right? A little bit shorter. And then last week, right, he played decent. He really couldn't get the putter to go on the
Yeah.
weekend. As we knew from our on-course reporter, Mr. Bob DeForio, which we're gonna try and throw into this episode. That's our father. That's
Yeah.
Big Bob. He was at the Honda. He was there reporting from the grounds. So he was able to follow Lowry, and it just so happens that while he was following Lowry, he didn't make one single putt. He left in for two holes and he made two birdies. So
That's the power of Bob.
yeah. So Lowry, he's trying out new drivers this week on the range, which I like because he's been hitting this spinny cut that's going nowhere.
Hmm.
So that does give me hope and make me comfortable in saying Lowry's a good pick this week because he's not a guy that I don't think is going to change his driver too much. Just give him a little different feel. He'll be comfortable, hit the fairways, and he's another great iron player when he's hitting
Yeah.
it well.
And I mean, I feel like he's just a very good Florida player in general. Usually, I think just when it comes this time of the year, like consistently year in, year out, he's usually like ball striking well in form, and it's just a matter of a time until he rattles off another win. I think it's obviously won the Zurich last year, but just a matter of time before he gets one of these elevated, I say.
Yeah, agreed.
And then just a couple other things in terms of like us going over the odds. Obviously, there's some a couple longer shots just in terms of some of these numbers being pretty big.
Yeah, I got some long shots.
Yeah, so I mean, I personally on mine, I know he's never played, and he's, I mean, one of my guys in a sense. But I like PgaTourProDice again. I don't really know if he could actually pull it off in this type of field yet. I don't think his game is probably that sharp at this point, but I do think plus 12,000 and just the style of course where he could probably get a lot of advantages with how deep he hits it and sort of how he's been playing. He played well at Torrey, obviously played well at the Mexico Open. Yeah, Mexico Open is a much different course, but again, just his game seems to be in solid form outside of those Sundays when the pressure got to him a little bit. I think he can maybe get up there in contention. I just don't know if he could actually pull it off in a field like this. Probably not yet, but I do think 12, 120 to 1 is a pretty good number for his talent and how he's playing right now.
Agreed. I
Yeah.
mean, he's pure talent. The tough part is when it's this type of golf course and everybody's going to miss greens because the fairways are so tight and the
Chipping.
greens are so
Yeah,
firm. He's going to be chipping a lot, exactly, and
I
and
know.
that's it's definitely not his strong suit right at this
I
point.
saw that.
Yeah, but again, Victor Hovland loves this course, and he's never been a great chipper. He's had a couple
Yeah.
decent years, where he got into the top 50 chipping wise. But if you can strike it well and hold these greens. All you got to do is shoot two under a day,
Yeah.
right? That's something he can
It's just
definitely hang in there, and the pressure will be much higher than it was in Mexico Open on Sunday if he was in contention.
Yeah, exactly. I think he could definitely give himself the looks he needs, and it seems like he obviously his stats show that he could roll it really well with the limited that we have so far. It's just a matter of like limiting those bogeys, sort of just eliminating those double bogeys as a whole, and then hopefully just only getting a couple bogeys. But we'll see how he reacts to this type of course his first time around. Obviously, it seems like probably get better with a couple more reps under his belt at a certain course like this. But we'll see. I think it's a good number still.
Yeah, and a few long shots I like. I'm looking more at the top 20 market,
Yeah.
but if you're a straight better, straight bet 'em. I like Gracerman. Again, I don't think he's going to win. He played a great weekend. I saw him grinding on the range at PGA, on the ESPN stream. He's a guy that when he's swinging it well the last couple of years, he knows how to stick in there for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I like him. I like Akshay. He knows how to hit a high spinny cut, right? He
What's
knows how to
in
hit
the top 20?
plus 180 for Akshay,
Okay.
which I think are solid odds. A guy long shot who's been playing solid golf is Justin Rose. He's plus 410 top 20. I think that's a pro, right? That's a man that's gonna every single shot. He's laser focused and top 20. And there's a right English you wanted to talk about, right? Dice Harris
Yeah,
English plus
Harris, I
270.
definitely do like. I think he's had great course history. He's definitely had multiple like top tens, top 20s. I know he came second the year Kitayama won at came in at -8, but I mean he has great course history. He putts well here. He won earlier this year at Torrey, so I was gonna say I would like him to win as a whole. I just think that already winning this year, I don't think he's that caliber of player to win multiple big time events at this point in his career. So I think top 20 at around what I see. I saw it at plus 270 is a pretty solid range for him to be in at this point for a top 20 with how his game's looking. Yeah.
We're gonna end it off here. Harris English was our last guy we want to look out for. We'll
Yes.
post the official picks tonight or tomorrow morning. For each of us, and it's just the beginning. So again, it's March here in New York now, New Jersey area. We'll be back on the golf course soon. I got to sign up for the U.S. Open local. Me and Dice will be a part of that after a heartbreaker last year, missing by one. But it's a good time. It's a good time for golf. Yeah, we got the Carter Cup trophy there. Got a few trophies in the background. Dice had a nice amateur career, on the golf course. So,
Yeah.
but we appreciate everybody. Dice, you wanted to end it off with anything? One more thing. Brothers on the Green. That's our new name. That's our
Yeah.
brand moving forward. Be posting on Instagram, posting some clips on Twitter and whatnot, and just be giving our thoughts on the game of golf.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll be making sure to like attach all the links for the Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, like when we actually go ahead and upload our the show on a weekly basis. But yeah, like Bobby said, just the beginning, hopefully getting some different content out there once the weather's nicer in terms of actually golfing. Hopefully, some interesting matches with a couple of our buddies. So definitely excited for that portion of it. But at this point, we'll like Bobby said earlier, we're gonna post our official board after official picks after with what we're actually getting some action on before the event starts. And again, like we said, a couple bad losses the last couple weeks with PgaTourProDice and Nat playing great, just wasn't able to close it out. But process in a good spot, just a matter of getting a couple winners and then yeah, just continuing to get into major season at that point once we get into April. Definitely looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's coming quick, and I might take Max Homa to finish in last place this week after watching TGL tonight. So
I know.
as he hits at
He,
330 down the middle, but that's
I
all
didn't
right.
I didn't even watch tonight. I know he
9-1.
Jupiter.
No, Atlanta.
Oh, jeez.
And Atlanta is Lucas Glover, Billy Horschel, and Nick Dunlap. They're up
Yeah.
9-1.
Nicky Dunlap with the 1 day contract.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Appreciate all of our loyal supporters, and
Family and friends at this point, but it'll grow.
we'll see you in a couple days.
All right.